Hello, chat. Dude, oh my gosh, it's been like an entire week. That's like a world record for me. What's up, Ethan? What's up, Ace? What does 27th mean? Is this, do I have 27 days to live? Okay, guys, we have a lot to cover today. It's gonna be probably actually a pretty short stream, depending on how quickly I can get through all this stuff. I'm not sure about how quickly we're gonna be able to. I'm assuming it's gonna be like an hour. Hopefully it doesn't take that long so people don't lose interest immediately. We've got a lot of stuff to do though. First of all, Conquest SMP. Okay, this is the main stuff. We're gonna do all this stuff first because that's what most of the people who are going to be watching this are going to be here for. I do have a list. I have a bunch of lists actually. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, the music is distracting me. It's too good. I'm turning it down more. Actually, I'm just gonna, can I turn it down for just, I'll just turn it down for me. Low-key. Okay. So, Conquest SMP. First of all, it's starting December 12th. That's this Friday. I don't know what time yet. We don't know what time yet. I'm assuming it's gonna be sometime around 7 to 9 p.m. I think that works the best for most people. Conquest. Good attempt at it. At the spelling. Okay. So let's just get into it. Okay, we're going over the rules and all the info that you'll need to know, as well as how to use the map, and and we're gonna decide land claiming as well today, the order for that. So that's gonna be cool. Let me go ahead and switch over now. This is the most I've talked like literally ever. Okay. So this is a lot of stuff, but I promise it's not as bad as you think it is, okay? And that's why I'm here talking about it, because I know no one's gonna read this, so you can just put this on the background as long as you're paying attention or whatever. This entire first section literally just says the very basics, okay? We're going to be on the server for exactly 1 month, from December 12th to January 12th. The server will be over on January 12th. You guys need to remember this, okay? It's going to be, this is a pretty good reminder, actually. It's going to be, you know, like, sad when your stuff gets stolen or you die and lose stuff or whatever. But you got to remember, it's all going to go away anyways. It's only going to be here for a month max, okay? So don't try not to dwell on when you lose stuff, okay? Because it's gonna, I mean, it's just gonna happen. That's how the servers like this work, okay? So the whole point, if you're new here, I guess this is also for viewers, but this is also for everyone who's playing. The whole point is we're going to be fighting over land, and whoever has the most land at the end of the month wins the server. Okay, that's the whole point. It's only gonna be successful for a month, so that's what I said. Okay, this is kind of important. Once you join the server for the first time, you're going to, or you should probably like remap all of your keybinds, and make sure proximity chat is set up. Those are probably the most important things. Do I want to add anything? I gotta think. I want to include everything, so nobody is behind or at all or anything like that. But I think that's everything for that section. That's good. Mod pack section, also very simple. It just kind of explains a little bit about the mod pack. You can read that if you want. It's not very important. The way to download the mod pack is you go to this link. And viewers, if you want to like do your own conquest or, you know, whatever you want to do, you can, this is public, so you can go here. Let me see if I can pull this up without leaking anything. It's probably not going to happen. It's very, very simple though. Let's see. Oh, you're starting this? Yes. Hello, Kron. How are you doing? Welcome in. Let's see. Mod pack downloads. Okay, so you'll be directed to this page. And this is the tutorial that I made last year. If you guys don't know how to download a mod pack, it's very straightforward. And then this second one, second season is going to be the one we're using for this year. Okay, now let's get into the very important things. So the map is split into 3 different sections. You'll be able to see that in a second whenever I show you guys the map. This kind of just explains the borders, how much land we'll be able to choose, how big the areas are. Gonna be fire. It is gonna be fire. It's gonna be amazing. Okay, so there's download it in 2 minutes. There's 3 sections of the map. We're starting out with is it 500 by 500? Well, it's 500, so it's actually 1,000 by 1,000 or whatever area, okay? It's just a square. We're gonna be claiming land throughout this week for that section. We'll only be able to use that section. You're allowed to go outside of it, obviously, but you can't like build anything. It's considered the wilderness outside of this section. And the borders will be very clear on the map as well. And then we will, every 10 days, so on day 10 and day 20, we will expand the map and we'll be able to claim more outside of that. And we'll be claiming land the week before day 10 and day 20, if that makes sense. So it'll be pretty straightforward. There'll be plenty of reminders in the Discord and stuff like that as well. And then land and land claiming. So you are only allowed to mine and loot from land that you own, okay? And the wilderness as well. You can only do minimal amounts of mining, so no ores, valuable blocks, or player buildings at all in other players' lands. You are allowed to build in their land, but you have to remember, since they own the land, they're allowed to do whatever they want with what you build. So if you build something, they can just blow it up. That's fair game. You are allowed to you are allowed to place blocks, but no form of building or storage are allowed to be built unless you have permission from them. First, which you can build that stuff if you want to, but it's just like really, you really shouldn't do that, because they're probably just going to steal it all, you know? So I don't know, maybe if you want to build like a hidden bunker or something, you could do that, I guess. And then if they gave you permission to build in their land, they can take that away at any time, so it still might not be the best idea. You are allowed to steal from containers at any point, but you are not allowed to mine player built blocks. So if you'd want to build like a vault or something to keep your stuff safe, right? In wilderness areas, you're allowed to build, mine, loot, explore, and do whatever you want. All of the land rules do not apply out here. The wilderness does not count towards our chunk total for the end, obviously, because you can't claim land out here. But you can steal, grief, blow stuff up, do whatever you want out there, okay? It's fair game. So, go crazy, do whatever you want. As long as it doesn't affect the chunks on the inside, then you'll be fine. Okay, and then if you die in any way, this is how land claiming is going to work. If you die in any way in someone else's land, you have to let them choose 5 chunks of your land to take with no cooldown. So every single time you die, no matter how long it's been, in someone else's land, you have to give them 5 of your chunks. This is mostly because it's supposed to be like not the greatest idea to just be in other people's land all the time. So be very careful with that. If you kill someone in their land, so you like invade into their land and kill them while they're in their land, you get to choose 5 chunks of their land to take, and you get to choose which chunks you take, but they have to be on the outside, so they can't be like in the center. Or it has to be bordering other players' land or the border. It's pretty straightforward. It's just the outside. You can only claim chunks by killing someone in their land once per 30 minutes per player. Okay, so we can't be like spawn killing them. You have to wait 30 minutes. And then land can also be transferred through trade. You are allowed to receive a total of 50 chunks of land through trade per day. So this is mostly so that at the end of the server, people don't just go, oh, I'm not going to win. Here's all my land so you can win. It's 50 chunks per day. The exception to this is if you trade an equal amount of land with someone. So for example, let's say you get to pick land last, but you really wanted a different area. You could trade an equal amount of land with someone. So you could say, hey, I really wanted this area. I'll give you 100 chunks of my land over in this section. If you give me these 100 chunks, that's fine. As long as it's an equal amount. It has to be equal if it's above 50. But you can also, that's an equal amount for land. So if you want to do 100 and 100, you could also like give them a bunch of diamonds or whatever, as an example. And that's also fair, because obviously maybe they wouldn't want to trade an equal amount just randomly if it's in your best interest, unless you're like allied with them or whatever. You guys get what I'm talking about. All trades that include a land transfer must be recorded in a book and signed by both parties. We'll get to that later. So with wars, while you are at war with someone, the 5 chunk land transfers are tripled to 15. So if you die in their land anyway, you have to give them 15 chunks of your land instead of 5. And the 30-minute per player timer is dropped to 10 minutes. So you can invade and kill someone every 10 minutes instead of 30 minutes if you're at war with them. And then I add a little note here. It's smart to retreat after successfully killing someone in their land because you can keep killing them and gain nothing. But if they kill you just once, then they get their land back because you're in their land, right? War must be officially declared in a book, but only need to be signed by one person. So whoever's declaring the war. Wars can be ended by signing of a peace treaty, or if a certain amount of time the war will be going on for is written in the book. So while you're writing a war declaration or declaration of war, which is down here, you can add a time limit. So you can say, I'm declaring war on this person for exactly 48 hours, exactly 2 days, and then the war will end after 2 days. If you don't specify a time, you have to end it through a peace treaty or through a forced ending, which Eli kept calling that a automatic trigger. So I guess that's what we're going to call them. But I'll explain that in a little bit because I think is that somewhere else, or that's actually the next line actually. So right here. Sometimes it will not be in the best interest of both parties in a war to sign a peace treaty. So basically, one person can say, I don't want to end war with you because you suck and I'm going to keep killing you and keep claiming land and it's in my best interest to stay at war with you. If that's the case and the other person really wants that war to be over, they can say, I don't want this anymore. I need you to stop invading me. I need to not be in war anymore. And they can give 100 chunks of their land to you as, a forced interaction or whatever you want to call it, which will be written in the peace treaty. And then you're forced to sign that. Like, you have to sign that. And then I also actually forgot to note, so I need to edit this real quick. Or I should probably just, I'm just gonna add a note and edit later. There's gonna be a war cooldown, so you can only after you get out of a war with someone, you have to wait a certain amount of time. It'll probably be like somewhere between 1 to 3 days after the war that you can declare war on them again. So I'm not sure how exactly long it's going to be. I'm assuming it's going to be like 1 day, 2 days, or 3 days, but we'll see what happens. I haven't decided that yet. That's one of the last things I have to think about and maybe talk to some other people about. Okay, and then let's go to treaties and books. So every time a treaty or book is signed, which by the way, these are just going to be with book and quills in game, all of its contents must be copied and pasted into the appropriate channel in the Discord server. So I will show you guys the Discord server in a little bit, but there's a channel for every single one. There is, let me pull it up. There is declarations of war, peace treaties, alliance treaties, separation treaties, and land book trades, or land trade books, which is all of these that we're going to go over. So you have to include all of the contents exactly word for word into the Discord so that everyone else knows what's going on. And yeah, it just makes sense. Just trust me on that, I guess. I don't know. All books and treaties must include the date and time in which it will take effect. So if you have a declaration of war, for example, you would need to write a date and time at which the war will start. And then you can obviously add an optional ending, but for the war. And then to sign the book, each player that is signing the book, what's up, Brayden? Each player that is signing the book has to write their name at the end of the book. So at the bottom of the last page, basically, or at least after the last of the contents of the book, you will sign your name. So all you have to do is you just have to write down your name, your in-game name, okay? And then everyone that is signing the book has to do the same thing, okay? And you can't, guys, a lot of the server is relying on trust, okay? You can't forge someone's signature. You can't do that. Thank you for the Prime, Brayden. I appreciate that. You're a legend. There's not a period here. Come on, guys. Gotta keep with the grammar. And then the actual signature of the book. So when you click sign at the bottom and you give it a title, that can be by anyone who signed the inside of the book. Okay. So that's how that's gonna work. And they have to be signed to take effect. If they're not signed, that doesn't take effect. I should probably add that here, but that's fine. Okay, so here are the different types. There's a declaration of war. This is the only way to officially declare war on someone. You have to include everyone initially involved in the war. So if I'm declaring war on Brayden, for example, I would have to write me, Fierceful, is declaring war on Brayden Bolt 68, or whatever. And if I want to add like me, Fierceful, and my allies, like Boss the Third, comma, Ace, comma, whatever, are declaring war on Raiden Bolt and his allies, comma, whatever, you can do that as well. But everyone that is initially involved has to be included. You can optionally include a time frame to when the war will automatically end, and if you don't, the war will not end until a peace treaty is signed. Or there's that trigger as well from before. A declaration of war only needs to be signed by the person declaring war. A peace treaty is the only way to end a war without a set time frame. It must be signed by at least one person on both sides of the war. So if it's, you know, there's a bunch of people allied on each side, only one person from each side has to sign it. Thank you for the 2 bits, Brayden, the 2 cents. Where was I at? Peace treaties can also be used to end a war with a set time frame early. So if you want the war to stop, you both want the war to stop, you can stop it early. Peace treaties can also include settlements in which one party gives land or resources to the other to settle at the end of the war, or to settle the end of the war. So if you are negotiating with someone, you can say like, I'd like to put in my 2 cents. Okay, thank you. You can say, okay, I need this war to end. I'll end the war. Will you end the war with me if I give you 30 chunks, for example, right? And then you can add that into the book, into the peace treaty book, and then both sides will sign off on that, and that has to happen, obviously. Alliance treaty. Alliance treaty can be used to make an official alliance between however many people. This treaty must be signed by every person in the alliance. The alliance must be named with the name recorded in the book. You can name it whatever you want, as long as it's appropriate. While an alliance treaty is active, you will not lose land from dying in your allies' land, even if they kill you. Okay, that's probably very important. So if I am allied with Ethan and I go into his land and die, then I don't have to give him land. Alliance treaties must have an exact start date and can have an optional end date if you want to end the alliance. Alliance treaties can be broken by destroying the alliance treaty, so you can either throw it onto a cactus or into the void or into lava. Or blowing up with TNT, there's probably other ways, you know. Or you can sign a separation treaty. I had to do this because I felt that some people might force an alliance and then like hide the book in their ender chest, which is probably going to happen. Or would have happened. So just as a backup, there's also a separation treaty, which is, oh wait, I forgot that I changed the name. Separation treaty can be signed by one or more people to break up an alliance. Everyone who signs the separation treaty will no longer be in the alliance recorded in the book. So for example, if you have an alliance of 4 people, if 2 people want to separate, both of the people that signed the separation treaty will both no longer be in the alliance. I have to change that in the Discord too, actually, or else I'm gonna forget. Hopefully I will remember to do that. Are we required to stream it? We were very iffy about this. I actually don't know what we decided on. I'm gonna say no, but realistically, you should be streaming the entire time you're on. The only reason I'm changing it to no is because there are a few people that joined that I didn't expect to join that are not streamers. So, and I don't want to like hassle anyone with it, you know. But if you are a streamer, you realistically should the entire time. I mean, if you're only hopping on for like 10 minutes to like get a screenshot or whatever, you don't have to, but you realistically should. And then the last book is a land trade book, which is the book that must be signed by all people involved in a trade that includes land. So if you trade even just one chunk of land to someone else for whatever, for other land or for resources or whatever, you have to write a book about it. And it has to be signed by both people. Okay, this is also very important to remember. I think a lot of people might forget about this if you don't pay attention here. You can only get 50 chunks of land from trade per day, which I think I did also mention this earlier. But so there should never be more than 50 chunks of land traded in one of these books, unless you do an equal amount of land. So you can, if you want to trade an equal amount of land with someone, you can give 100 for 100, for example, or 200 for 200, whatever you want. But it has to be an equal amount of land, and then you can add resources or whatever else on top of that. My stream stuff just doesn't work right now, so that's why I don't have time to set it up. Yeah, that's fine. It's preferred, but if you can't, that's fine. Exactly. So if you can stream and it's not a hassle, you should, and we would prefer that. But if you can't, then it's not a big deal. All right, we're actually pretty close to being done. So other server rules. During the first full 24 hours the server's open, so if we start at 7 p.m., it'll be from 7 p.m. to 7 p.m. the next day. Land cannot be transferred in any way, and PvP is heavily discouraged. You can still PvP if you want to, but you shouldn't be. This is kind of more like, we're not gonna get mad if you're just like playing around with someone, you know, and you're just having a fun time, but you really shouldn't be like sweating to go kill people on the first day. And then the same goes for the full day of Christmas, so obviously December 25th, and also on the final full day of the server, January 12th. So January 12th at 12 a.m., as soon as the day starts, is when land trading and land claiming land, you know, invading, whatever, is cut off completely. So the last day is really January 11th. The main reason we cut off the last day is because I don't know what time the server will get cut off on January 12th, because I'm only going to be obviously paying for a month. And second of all, I think it's really good that we have like that last day so that we can kind of like use it to reminisce and, you know, just have one last tour or whatever of the server without having to worry about any more disputes. Combat logging is never allowed. So if you get into combat, you have to stay in the server for at least 5 minutes. So if you, obviously this only counts for players, so if you get hit by like a skeleton, you can log out. But if you get hit with a bow and arrow from another player, or a sword, or anything, a gun, whatever, you have to stay on the server for at least 5 minutes. You can run and hide, and if you manage to stay hidden for 5 minutes, that's fine, and you can leave at that point. But if you get attacked, or you attack someone else and deal damage in any way, you have to stay on the server for at least 5 minutes. We are not allowing any sort of redstone farms. Only the very basic farms are allowed. So there's two ways that I kind of describe this. Well, let's just go for this first. So only very basic farms, including simple crop farms, you know, wheat fields, carrot fields, or like farms, those are all fine. Simple animal farms, you know, you can put sheep and cows in a pen, that's technically a farm, I guess, that's fine. And simple mob farms. So I think realistically the most complicated farm you can make is like a monster spawner. You can set up a mob farm that doesn't include redstone, or, you know, one that's like based around a mob spawner. Those are fine. The general rule for this is if the farm uses complicated game mechanics or redstone, it is not allowed. But also, I think another good way to put it is, if you were a new Minecraft player and you can't intuitively figure out how to make the farm, it's probably not allowed. Like, I think most people could realistically think, yeah, mobs are spawning from the spawner. What if I just trap them all in a hole and then kill them for easy XP? That's probably, most people could figure that out. Traps are allowed and encouraged. Villager trading is allowed. Elytra and similar items are not allowed at all. They're banned. So no elytra. I know there's at least one other item in the game. I forgot what it's called, but it's basically an elytra that's banned. No elytra. The reason is because we're using vehicles and mounts in the server. So we want to be able to use horses and other stuff. What about an iron farm if you slay them by hand? I think if you have like a bunch of villagers trapped and iron golems spawn in, you would be allowed to kill them. But I would say no like advanced iron farms where they like spawn in and get auto killed, or get dropped into a chamber where you auto kill them. That's probably too advanced. Okay, and then don't use any other mods other than the ones from the mod pack. Obviously, don't use cheats or hacks or any exploits that are obviously not fair. Nothing like that. Rules may change at any time, and if they are changed anyway, they'll be announced on the Discord server. And then also, if you guys have any questions, you can ask me at any time, because I don't do anything except play the video game. Okay, so this last section, progression, is kind of complicated, but it's very important because this makes it fair for everybody, especially the people who are not going to be able to play for as long as other people. Me. And by me, I mean I'm going to be playing 24/7, and some people are going to be playing like an hour a day. So to make progress more fair and balanced all around, at the beginning of the server, so as soon as it starts, all ores, mounts, vehicles, dimensions, and gun tiers, there's 3 tiers we'll get into in a second, are locked, meaning you are not allowed to mine, ride, collect, or use any of that stuff at all until it's unlocked. If anything is found in a loot chest, you are allowed to just leave it there and come back for it in the future. So iron is not allowed on day 1. If you're exploring and you find like a desert temple or whatever, and there's iron or diamonds in it, you are allowed to just leave it there and come back for it whenever it's unlocked. That's fine, but you can't take it with you. It has to stay there. If you accidentally obtain anything that is locked, you have to get rid of it immediately. So if it enters your inventory at all, then you just have to throw it out. You can just throw it out and let it despawn, or you can throw it to lava, cactus, whatever. Ores can also be left when you find them, and you come back for them once they're unlocked. So if you find iron on day 1, you don't have to like burn it or whatever. You can just leave it there and come back for it whenever it's unlocked. That's fine. Most ores have different variants, which will all unlock at the same time as the base ore. For example, iron ore, which is unlocked on day 3, which this is the list down here. We'll get into that in a second. Also has a deep slate iron ore, I don't know how to say that, but that type of iron ore, Jelena iron ore, Skulkstone iron ore. There's a lot of different iron ores because there's a bunch of different mods that add a bunch of different stones that the ore could spawn in. So, but all of the different iron ores unlock whenever iron ore unlocks. That should be pretty self-explanatory. And then another example is there are 4 different mods that add silver, which every silver ore looks different, but they all function the same because of how mods work. All silver makes the same silver armor and silver tools and stuff. So all of those 4 silvers unlock on the same day as well. And then, so under here we have the full list of things that will be unlocked over time. If you don't see something anywhere on the list, you can safely assume that it is unlocked from the start, unless it is similar to something else that is locked, something that is made from something else that is locked. So like an iron sword, for example, like you wouldn't be able to use an iron sword because it's obviously made from iron. Or it just makes sense to be locked. So guys, please use your brains here, okay? If you find some insanely overpowered item on day 2 that obviously doesn't make sense to be unlocked, don't use it yet. And you can either ask me about it and I can give you like a safe day to where you would be allowed to use it, or I can add it to the list if it's something that, or I'll probably add everything to the list if we find other things. So because I haven't been able to explore the entirety of the mod pack, but I did spend a little bit of time going through it to try to find everything that makes sense, at least like all the basic things. So there's every ore in the mod pack is on here. At least I tried to find every ore. Every dimension is listed, so you're only allowed to be in the overworld on day 1. And then other dimensions unlock on certain days. There are 3 tiers of guns. So we're using one main gun mod, which is basically just an add-on or like an expanded version of the gun mod we used last year. I know you guys don't have brains, okay? But what was I talking about? I don't have a brain either, apparently. But there's a lot of different guns, but they're all 3 tiers. There are 3 different workbenches, which are listed below. You can look for them if you want, I guess, whatever. The first one I think is a scrap workbench or something like that. I think that would be on day 10. Yeah. The first tier of guns are unlocked on day 10. The scrap workbench is the tier 1. We don't have what? Okay, exactly. So on day 10, we are allowed to use the first tier of guns and the first tier workbench. The scrap workbench is the tier 1 workbench. It crafts tier 1 guns, okay? And then on day 20, with the scrap workbench, you can craft a gunite workbench. Or wait, actually it's on day 15. I think this is the next one, yeah. The second tier of guns is locked on day 15. You can make a gunmetal workbench on day 15. for the second tier of guns. Okay, that should make sense, hopefully. If you have questions, ask me about it, please. There are also a few materials that make high tier gear that are not allowed to be collected or used until they are unlocked. I think most of these, if not all of these, come from like mobs that are hard to kill. So there's dragons, which drop dragon scales, dragon bones. There's different types of chitin, which drop from like worms and stuff. And also a bunch of teeth, which drop from, you know, whatever types of mobs. Those all craft like high tier armors. So don't use those either. I will try to get my stream working again by the time it starts. I will have some time at night now, but no promises. Okay, just try your best, and you know, no worries if you can't get it to work properly or whatever. All mounts and vehicles are categorized by ground, water, and air. I don't think anyone would not be able to understand this, but just in case no one knows, a mount is an animal or mob or living thing. So horses, pigs, hippogriffs, hippocampus, bear, dragon, those are all in the game, by the way. And then vehicles are not alive, and they're, you know, they're not animals or mobs or whatever. So for example, boats, minecarts, and planes. Any mount or vehicle that can fly at all, if it can leave the ground and doesn't come back down immediately, so it can't jump, it can fly. It's technically a flying or an air mount, okay? Any mount or vehicle that can be mounted or ridden in water is a water mount. So not a horse. A horse can be ridden in water technically, but it's pretty obvious that a horse is not meant for water. It's meant for ground. But there's a mob called a hippocampus, which is basically just like a water horse. It can swim, and you're meant to ride them around in the water. Same with boats. You can ride boats on land, but they're obviously meant for the water. Okay, so it should be pretty intuitive here to find that stuff out. And then that should be everything that's locked. So obviously we'll probably find some other stuff while we're playing, and I'll try to announce that in the Discord as well and stuff. So day 1, on the first day and the second day, because there's no day 2 unlocks, on the first and second day that we are playing, all we are allowed is copper ore, coal, fossil fuel ore, platinum ore, sulfur ore, saltpeter ore, zinc, firestone, quartz, brimstone, and niter. I honestly don't remember what most of this stuff is or does. I know that there is copper armor, so realistically the best armor we're going to be having on day 1 is copper armor, and day 2. So by the way, the days are not categorized, or they're not unlocked at the same time we start. It'll just be like at midnight. So day 1 and 2, so day 1 is really short because we're starting late in the day, and then day 2 is a full day, and then midnight of day 2, day 3 stuff unlocked. So day 1 is the 12th, right? Because we're starting on the 12th. Day 2 is the 13th, and then the 13th at midnight, so going into the 14th, is when the day 3 stuff unlocks. So it'll be at midnight Central Time. Everything here is in Central Time, so please remember Central Time, guys. I think only one person, Ostino, will have to remember that, maybe. Unless you are a viewer. But for all the people that are playing, all the players, I'm pretty sure we're all in the same time zone except for Ostino. Is that right? I think that's right. Hopefully that's right. Also, I made an effort to go through and find every single ore, so I'm really hoping that I did at least get all of the ores. That's what I try to focus on. All vanilla mounts and vehicles are unlocked, so horses, pigs, normal boats, just like the one you make with 5 planks. Those are all allowed. On day 3, we get iron, redstone, aluminum, lead. I don't even feel comfortable saying that, to be honest. Silver, tin, ambrosium, xanite, and there's this weird block called block ore eye. I don't know. Oh yeah, and ace. My fault, Ace. I forgot about you. This is the exact name of the block in the game. I don't know why they didn't call it eye or block or something that makes more sense, but this is the exact name. So yeah, and then obviously there's a bunch of other stuff. I'm not gonna read through all of these, but for the nether unlocks on day 5. That's probably pretty important. There's chain and medieval armor sets from from a mod. I think it's just called like medieval armor sets, to be honest. These unlock on day 5. Diamonds unlock day 7. That's pretty important. The Aether is unlocked on day 7 because we have the Aether mod. All modded ground mounts are unlocked, so you can use bears. I don't know. I actually don't know any of them. And also all modded water mounts and vehicles. So all boats, hippocampus, dolphins, I don't know, that might be a thing. Whatever else. And then also Neptunian gear is unlocked on day 7 as well. That is the gear you get if you do a lot of fishing. So if you get the Neptunian stuff, you have to throw that away while you're fishing until day 7. Day 10 is netherite and also tier 1 guns. There is the Undergarden and Deep Dark that are both unlocked. Sea Serpent scales and all chitons are unlocked. Chitons, I think, is like worms and other stuff. First tier of guns is unlocked. Day 12, Twilight Forest is unlocked. Dragon Bones, Dragon Scales, and Dragon Steel are all unlocked. Also, all mounts and vehicles are unlocked. So on day 12, you can technically start riding dragons, okay? But dragons are very hard to tame, so that's going to be kind of hard for us to do, I think. Even with guns. They're low-key... It's low-key tough, I'm not going to lie. Day 15, the end is unlocked. Second tier of guns is unlocked. Day 20, the third tier of guns is unlocked. And that's it, actually. We obviously, I said this already, but we might add more stuff. And then obviously, you're not expected to remember every single thing in this list. But the main focus here is for ores. So if you see an ore and you don't immediately know if it's unlocked, you should check the list before you mine it. Dimensions should be pretty intuitive because obviously just stay in the overworld until I announce that it's open. Okay, so the Nether unlocks day 5. So there's literally no other dimensions until day 5. Day 7 is Aether, so it should be pretty easy to remember what's unlocked for dimensions. Mounts and vehicles are a little bit more complicated, but realistically, it's just everything vanilla is fine at all times, and then anything that's modded, if it's water or ground, unlocks on day 7, and if it can fly, it's unlocked on day 12. And then any high tier materials, those are kind of annoying to remember, but just check the list. Realistically, if it can make an armor set and it's not like an ore, it's probably on the list. So all of the dragon stuff is on the list, all of the titans, all of the teeth. Actually, I don't think teeth are on here, but I should add those. I actually don't know if teeth can make stuff or not. I know there is, but I don't know what it makes. And then obviously the guns are also pretty intuitive. It's day 10, 15, and 20. Also, before guns are unlocked, bows are allowed. So on day 1, we're allowed to have bows. I think there's like iron bows and diamond bows. Those obviously unlocked whenever you unlock iron and diamond. And then, yeah. So you're allowed to have bows and stuff. There's also boomerangs, I think, and like slingshots. So those will be allowed as well. And then hopefully, how long does that take? 40 minutes? That seems about adequate. I think that's everything for the rules and stuff. Hopefully, and info. So I'm going to show you guys how to use the map next. I do have the game pulled up. This is the map we're using. This is the map of the game. Okay, we're going to use the exact same seed. Hopefully. There's a very small chance that doesn't turn out to be the case. But it should. Actually, I guess it has to work. Otherwise, we have to reselect land because it wouldn't be fair. Whatever. So here is the map. I don't think I can get rid of. Can I get rid of this? Oh, I can get rid of the grid. That's probably maybe a good thing. Okay, whatever. So here is the map I was talking about. Here are the 3 borders. So on day 1 through day 9, we're only allowed to claim land within this first border. It looks kind of small. It's actually like it's probably bigger than you think it is realistically, but it is still kind of small, but that's the point. I really like this map. I selected this map because there is a ocean on the outside of it that basically connects all the way around. which is really cool to me. And there's a bunch of like water stuff in the game, so that's useful. And there should be enough water so that everyone can have some sort of water if they want it, which I want a decent amount of water, I think, because I want to do some water stuff. Yeah, the oceans and like especially the oceans are like pretty protected with I guess like dangerous. Like it would be hard to break into like an ocean area because of like the sharks and stuff. So I don't know, I think that could be cool. I don't know. I just feel like you definitely want to have some sort of water if you can. It's probably going to be pretty important somewhat. But this first central area is mostly land, and then it kind of spreads out into having more water. But there's also still quite a lot of land. Like there's an island down here you want to claim, or like this is a cool area, and this is a cool area with all the pink trees. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in here that you would want. My favorite biome is over here, so I'm hoping that I can get that. If not, then I actually have quite a few areas of where I might want to base as well. So you guys can go ahead and think about this. Would someone be allowed to use Lightmatica? That's not in the mod list. I would say you can if you want to, but I don't think anyone's really going to be building cool stuff because the chances of it exploding is pretty high, and even if it doesn't, then the server's going to be gone in a month anyways. So I don't think building isn't really the main focus. It's mostly PvP. But yeah, you could, I guess you could use Lightmatica. I wouldn't be against that. And then, okay, I gotta show you guys how to use the map. So this is pretty straightforward. Okay, so right now the only land, like, what are these called? Frontiers? They're called frontiers, but this is like land claiming. Is the border. So these borders, obviously on day 10 this first border will drop and the map will be extended to this bigger square, and same on day 20 for the full square. But for the first week, the start of the server, we will have all of the land in this center square claimed. So here's how you do it, okay? I will draw out all of the beginning land claims for when people claim their land. They can just come and tell me and I can do it for them. But anytime you like claim land from someone or you have to give up some of your land for someone, I'm going to hope that you guys can do it. If you get confused or you want me to do it, I can also do it for you. But I really don't want to have to do everyone's land for them. So I hope you guys can please just learn how to do this. It's really not that complicated. So to start marking out a new area, obviously all we have right now is the borders. You click this button, New Frontier, which hopefully we don't ever have to do this because all of the land, everyone's land is already going to be a thing when the server starts. But you want to make sure you're on global so everyone can see it, and chunk tool, because otherwise it's vector, and then you can do like block for block claiming and not chunk claiming. We're doing it by chunks. That makes it a lot easier. So all you do is click that, make sure these are the right settings. I think these are only on these settings because I usually use these, but you probably have to change these. And then click create. There's 2 rows for the name. We can just call it like, we'll just do it, typically we'll end up like this. So, you know, you just put your name here. So, you know, whatever your name is, it's pretty straightforward, hopefully. Your color, which we'll all have our assigned colors, which I'll do, I think, I don't remember what mine was. I think mine was orange or whatever, I don't know. Who cares, it doesn't matter, this is temporary. And then all you do is you do the color and name, and I think that's all you should have to do. And you click done. And then you come over here to Frontiers, select it, done. I think it is automatically selected, but I accidentally clicked off of it. And now all you do is right click. Shoot, never mind, I forgot. Select it, done, and then you have to click edit first. Edit Frontier. And then while you're editing, right click. You can right click and drag to claim your chunks of land, right? Just like this. It's very easy, very straightforward. Once you learn how to do it, it should be very easy to use. One really annoying thing about this mod, this map mod, just to keep in mind, is it puts the name in the center. So if you have chunks like over here, for example, okay, it's low-key not doing it now. I'm a liar. There we go. It put the name over here. Also, by the way, you just right click as well to erase. So if you start on an empty chunk and right click, it starts creating. Right click again, will start deleting. And then you can hold it while you're doing this stuff. But if you do something like this and you have land that's like a weird shape and it's all connected like this, it will drag the name to the center of the land. So like all of this, the center would be like here, which is kind of annoying because there's probably going to be other people claiming land in this area. If for some reason my chunks of land looked like this, you know? You guys hopefully get what I'm saying. I'm just trying to point out that the names are a little stupid and dumb and annoying. And then also you can done editing and you can come here to delete it, which we probably should never need to do, but just in case. So, take a screenshot. Let me move my webcam actually, connect the whole thing for just a second. Take a screenshot of this. Is there any way I can remove? I really wish I could remove this. You might have to take 2 screenshots, but here's like the top. And then here's the bottom. Take screenshots, and when you guys are claiming land, you'll either be looking at the screenshot or I'll be on this world and I'll be streaming on Discord or something, and you guys can claim what chunks you want. So let me check how many we get. Actually, I did write it down. So the first 6 players to claim land get to choose 384 chunks, and the last 4 will choose 385. I'm streaming. Okay. So whenever we're claiming land, right? Let's do it again just to show one more time. Let's say I'm the first person to claim land. I have 384 chunks of land that I can claim. Frick, I always forget that step. Guys, I'm a little special. Frontier. Okay. I can select 384 chunks like this. You don't have to count it out exactly because it does tell you how many if you go to Frontier Info. Wait, how do you go to info? Or you don't have to actually, it says right here. So right now this is 108 chunks. So I would get about just over like 3 times as much because I get, how much did I say? 384. Yeah, 384. Okay. That should be it, hopefully. Delete that. This is, by the way, this is all of the ores. I guess I can show this real quick. This is what's unlocked as soon as we start. This is day 3, day 5, 7, and 10. There's also, this is like every ore. This is all 4 of the silver ores. There's 2 sapphire, and then all of this stuff. And then this is the stupid block ore. I don't understand why they called it that, but whatever. And then there's also like a bunch of different variants. Like I didn't put every single iron ore in here. I only just put the base iron ore, but there's obviously a lot more. Yeah, so that's it. I guess here's a little preview of the world if you want it. That's a pretty cool biome actually. That's what that one biome looks like. So that should be everything though, hopefully, for Minecraft. Is that everything? Oh, we have to spin for names now. Okay, guys, there are 10 people. Let me fix my face cam actually. There are 10 people playing on the server as of right now. That might change. At this point, most likely it is not going to change though. There are 10 people. So I have this wheel and we're gonna be spinning for names. So we have everyone's name on here. We've got, let me see, can you guys see that? Probably not very well. And also the green screen is kind of messing with it, but you're just gonna have to trust me. We've got me, Eli, Ethan, I'm gonna read in-game names too, just in case you guys don't know. Me, Corbin, Fierceful, Eli, Bulletin, Ethan, McBoss III, Austino is Sulkers, Jacob is, I think, Error 403 on everything. Oh, except on Twitch. On Twitch he's Jacob_2. There's Samuel, which is Wet Corn Dog. There's Ace, which is, I think, in Minecraft his name is like Ace Duke the Gamer or something stupid like that. In chat, he's Ace Duke 99. It just always starts with Ace, basically. Brayden is Raiden Bolt 68. Marcus is Beaver Boy 69, I think. Very funny, very funny. And then we have Colt, which is... I actually don't know what his is. I forgot. I think his is Rusty Shotgun on Minecraft. I think that might be the same on Discord as well. He's actually not in the server yet because I haven't been able to get him in here yet. But that's everyone. So we're literally, this is gonna decide the order, okay, guys? I do have the marker and eraser here if I need it. We might have to separate it if we are getting the really unlucky pulls. Okay, guys, who's claiming land first? The first person who gets to claim land on the Conquest SMP is... By the way, guys, this might be very loud. Guys, I promise this is not rigged. No, now everyone's gonna think it's rigged. Guys, it's been a 52-minute stream. Okay, you know what? Nope. That sucks. I'm first. Screw you guys. Okay, the second person to be able to claim land Ace. Congratulations, Ace. You get second pick for land. I thought it was me again. I was gonna crash out, actually. Okay, third person. Ostino. I'm writing these down, by the way, because otherwise I will forget immediately. Fourth person. Jacob. This is so stupid. I'm glad I did it this way, though. And then, okay, fifth person. These things are stupid and annoying. Fifth person. Nobody. Fifth person. Ethan. Sixth person. Marcus. Seventh person to pick land on the Conquest SMP. We're actually getting pretty lucky. I thought these... Okay, we got Ace already. I thought these were going to take a lot longer, but I'm sure it will for the last few. Nobody. Ow. I hit myself. Nobody. Also, I didn't write on the purple because it was not showing up very well. That's why, if you were wondering. We already got Marcus. We already got Ace. Ace has claimed land 3 times now. We already got Ostino. Brayden, did we get Brayden already? No, we did not. Okay, we got Brayden for 7th. Now for 8th. Nobody. Me again. So we have Eli, Colt, and there's one other person. Eli, Colt, and Samuel. Yeah, Samuel. We might have to rewrite the names down, which would probably take longer, but I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna rewrite them down. Oh, I forgot. This is like impossible to erase, actually. You know what? I'm just gonna... Let's see. Who do we... Okay, we don't have Samuel. We don't have Eli. Can you guys hear the squeaking? I'm sure you guys can hear the squeaking. It's really annoying, actually. The stuff I had written on here before was like absolutely catastrophic. And then Colt also hasn't. Okay. So we've got Samuel, Colt, and Eli left. I'm gonna write their names down like 3 times each. There's not enough room to write them. Actually, I can do 4. I'll do 4. 4 each. Oh wait, I wrote it sideways. Well. Okay, last 3 people. Eli, Colt, and Samuel. This is the 8th person to claim land. Eli! And then 9th and 10th. Whoever this lands on will be 9th. Unless it's Eli again. Okay, it was Eli again, of course. Hey, Yumi, hello! Samuel! Okay, what did I walk into? I'm explaining the... Wait, it did land on Samuel, right? Did it? Why did it switch over? Okay, it was on Samuel. Okay, and then Colt is last. So, there we go. We've decided the order. We are deciding the order of land to claim. I guess I can show you guys this except the bottom. Ignore the top. So, there's the list. I don't know if you guys can read that. It's backwards, but it's, you know. And then there's my Silk Song stuff, and then whatever the other stuff below that is. That's for some school thing that I forgot to do, which I did not forget to do, actually. So, land claiming. We got me first, and then Ace, and then Austino, and then Jacob, and then Ethan, and then Marcus, and then Brayden, and then Eli, and then Samuel, and then Colt. In that order. That's the land claiming order. So I will claim my own land probably as soon as I end the stream. And then I will ask Ace to claim his, and then we'll get everyone else to flow in afterwards. And that will be done by the time we start on Friday, December 12th. So, for everybody that, hold on. Let me gather my thoughts. Every player of the Conquest SMP, we just almost reached an hour. That is everything you need to know for the Conquest SMP starting December 12th. I'm very excited for this season. I think it's going to be a great, fun time. And you guys can now leave if you want to. That's everything. Thank you for watching. I hope you guys got all that. If you have any questions, you can ask me. And then also everything as well, it should be on the Discord. So, there you go. And now, for my personal stuff. So, first of all, I want to say, hello, Ayumi. I didn't get to properly say, welcome to the stream. How are you doing? Oh my gosh, I got all this crap put away now. That's fine. So, I have quite a few announcements for myself. Hi, hello. First of all, the biggest announcement we'll do first. Fierce Floathon Season 3. So, if you guys can remember, back on December 9th of 2024, is that right? That was last year, so yes. I started my season. I started off my. I guess it's not really a start. That's when I really I locked in on Twitch. Okay, was Fierce Floathon Season 1. That was a great month. We did 1 hour every single day, no questions asked, and I did it. I completed my challenge. I went for the 30 days, and I am very proud of that. That was also I've definitely mentioned this on stream before, but that was kind of like my test. I said, this is going to be my trial run to see if I really want to lock in on Twitch and if I really want to chase down this dream of mine. And after the 30 days, this is actually kind of perfect timing that you're here at Yumi, because this is kind of funny. I was like half satisfied when I got done. I was like, that was really cool. I really enjoyed that. I'm still very iffy. And then we had that 24-hour stream on Eli's stupid channel and not even on mine. I met you there. Yes, on that 24-hour stream. And that 24-hour stream was my insane motivational spike. And I was like, this is exactly what I want to do. Having literally three people, Ayumi, Aaron, and Morpho in the chat for that amount of time. And I was able to talk to you guys. And that was like the best time of my life, okay? That was my point where I was like, This is exactly where I want to be. Okay, this is my corner of the internet. I love it here. Okay, so it's been a year, guys. It's been 1 year since then. Wow, can you guys believe that? So we're talking for 5 hours at least. Yeah, it was like literally all night. It was, dude. And I remember because I was like, I slept for 14 hours after that. It's like the longest I've ever slept for in my life. I have to go by K-Ron. Thank you for showing up and being here. Have a great rest of your day. So we're running it back. We had season 2 over summer, which was like, what happened over the summer? We did a lot of random stuff. We had like, should we like pull this up? I kind of want to pull this up. We can go through my stream playlist that I made like a month ago or so, like 2 months ago. Playlists. What is playing right now? Oh, this is One Shot OST? Guys, I love One Shot. Live stream VODs. I don't think I was there for the summer one, but I'm sure it was good. You were here for most of the post season 1 era, up until a little bit before the summer one started. But the summer one was, I don't know, bro. The summer one was very here and there. It was different rule sets. And by the way, we're gonna get into the rules in a second, but dude, this season is gonna be so crazy, guys. I'm so excited and also so completely terrified. So let me pull this up for you guys. You guys can't actually see most of it. This is the only stream on here that was before season 1. So I don't, when was this? This was June 16, 2024. So my stream after this was December 11th, but this was uploaded on the 11th. So I think this stream was actually, yeah, the stream was actually on the 10th, which was day 1. This is what I consider to be the start of my actual like Twitch career, and you know, the start of everything. We did a 2.5 hour stream on freaking Phasmophobia. Dude, don't even look at me. I look so much different now, and I hate it. I hate how I used to look. It's okay, actually. And then we had this entire season, the 30, it should be 31, right? Because we have, or that's day 29. Right? Yeah, okay. This was 1/10, so January 10th, exactly 30 days. Except this says, oh, I think I actually messed up a day on one of them, but that's in the past. And then we did the finale, which was the don't hate on past you, he got you here. He did get me here. I love that guy. Okay. I did not reset the timer yet for this, but this was 24, or this was the promise for this stream was we are going to hit 12 hours and then we're going to try for 24, but I'm only promising 12. That was the promise. That was what I said. We got to, you know, however much time is left right here, 10:10. I actually look pretty similar right here, I think. Mostly. I got to get a haircut soon though, Loki. So we got to 14 hours. That wasn't bad. I wanted to do 24, but we got cut off short for reasons that were not my fault, which is what I expected to happen actually. And then we did after this was Eli's 24-hour stream, which is where I got that insane motivational boost from you guys. Genuinely thank you guys so much, by the way. And then we did this stream, which I don't even remember what this was. I know what it was, but I don't remember when it was or anything about it really. And then we did, this was the stream where I said, guys, 12 hours or I beat this final Infernum boss. And I don't remember why it got split into 2 parts, but right there, guys, look at this. Literally the last attempt at the 12-hour mark. This final attempt went past the 12-hour mark to beat the final boss. I said 12 hours or we beat the boss, and we did both on accident. That was amazing, by the way. Oh, also, this is not supposed to be in here. This is not a VOD. Oh, well. And then we did a bunch of Siege stuff, and then Portal. This was like whenever I was in my dorm and only streaming on weekends for a while. Oh, we did the Fearful SMP two-year event. That was really fun. We did the Zuma birthday stream. That was a really fun stream. Dude, the first Undertale playthrough streams were absolutely amazing. I freaking love these streams so much. That was a great time. Undertale but damage equals all F4 was fun. Undertale music started playing, by the way. And then we... Oh, this is the start of season 2. Or wait, right here. This one was actually. This was the start of season 2. Was June 4th. Or wait, this was actually... I think this was actually June 3rd. And it was uploaded on June 4th because it was like past midnight. Because I remember specifically June 4th was when... Yeah. Was when I woke up early because Deltarune chapters 3 and 4 dropped. Which I actually started on chapters 1 and 2. Which was amazing, by the way. This was like the greatest few days of my life playing Deltarune, bro. I absolutely loved all 3 of these streams. They were amazing. This one ended up being almost 8 hours as well. And then we did a bunch of random stuff like Rain World, which I still haven't finished, by the way. We're gonna have to go back and do that at some point. We did one random stream on a friend's server that I stopped. This was 50 days though. I didn't actually expect to go through this entire list, but here we are. And then we just did a bunch of random stuff after this. Obviously the Silk Song stuff came into play recently. We did One Shot, which was amazing. We did some Cuphead stuff, which we still need to go back to, by the way. We're almost done with that. Lost Media, that's funny. Forgot about that. We did some Terraria stuff, and then we've done a bunch of Silk Song stuff recently. And then it's been like a week since I've done anything because I've been... Oh, I didn't mention where I've been actually. It was mostly school stuff, but also preparation for Conquest, preparation for Season 3, and some other stuff that's going to happen soon. Also preparation for just Christmas in general. So, that was the history. And now this is where we are, guys, okay? Here's Sultan Season 3, okay? Starting on the same day we started last year, we are doing 4 weeks of 25 hours per week. So summer season, the quota was 10 hours per week, and now we're 2.5 times multiplying by 2.5. I could definitely say that better. I don't know how. 25 hours a week, basically, guys. Okay, that is a insanely crazy amount of time. That is literally more time than a part-time job for 100 hours total. Math? Ew, I know. It's going to be an insane 4 weeks, guys. So on average, I think this would be about 3.5 hours per day. It's gonna be rough. It's gonna be rough, guys. But I think we're gonna have a great time overall. And then here's the catch, okay? I don't expect myself to hit 25 hours per week. So what we're doing is on top of our 24-hour finale that we always do at the end of a season, all of the time that I don't get to the 100 hours, so if I only get 80 hours, that's 20 extra hours I have to add onto the finale. So the finale will end up being 44 hours at that point. Bro, you might just be cooked. There is no might. I'm cooked. I'm really hoping that Conquest is going to carry the first 2 weeks at least and keep going after that, because Conquest is going to be taking place basically the entire time, as well as a bunch of other stuff that I want to do as well. The quota will reset on Tuesday night / Wednesday morning. So even if I'm streaming through midnight, all the time after midnight will go to the next week's time. Strong parameters here, buddy, but we gonna be emotional support. That's what I need, guys. That's all I need. If I have some emotional support in the chat, I can literally keep going forever. Okay, that's just, I don't know. Literally seeing literally anybody in the chat is like my #1 source of motivation, and it makes me want to keep going forever. So 12 a.m. Central Time is when on Wednesday morning is when the time will reset for the week. Here are the weeks. We're starting December 10th, which is in 2 days. So this stream will end probably fairly soon after I finish announcing everything, and then on tomorrow there will probably not be a stream tomorrow. Your finale stream is gonna reach 48 hours. I actually realistically hope that it does, because after Christmas, this is part of the announcements. Actually, let me get to this. We'll get to that. We'll go back to that. So this week, first week, this week, second week, third week, fourth week. So it'll end kind of on the 6th, but that'll be like the last day of the quotas. You can just put us all in a Discord call and we can entertain ourselves as you get sleep. Yes. If the stream is longer than 24 hours, which it 1,000,000,000%, 100% will be over 24 hours, I'm going to be sleeping on stream. So you guys will get to watch me sleep. Absolute Cinema? And then okay, is that it? The finale, which this is subject to change, is going to be on January 8th. Well, it'll start sometime between the 8th and the 10th. Most likely, it might change, but it'll just be like a few days after this, with or without green screen. The green screen is just gonna be like very on and off. My goal is to have the green screen down, like it is now. Whenever I'm doing just chatting segments or we're not playing anything, we're not locked in, and then because I can just pull it up now, right? I don't have to like set it up. And I can just pull it up whenever we start playing something. So, other announcements. The first announcement is for Christmas, this has been said before, but I should put it here because it's like just a big announcement stream. For Christmas, I'm getting a lot of new streaming stuff, mostly a new computer and a new desk and basically a new setup. My setup used to be over there at the beginning of season 1, and now it's over on this side of my room. It's going back over there, and my entire setup is going to be changing drastically. But I am so incredibly excited for it. You guys have literally no idea how excited for it I am. Nice, it is amazing. I'm so excited. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of changes around Christmas time, which is why I probably won't be streaming on Christmas Day, which is going to make the quota even harder to reach. But we're still going to be trying our best. Right, guys? We're going to try our hardest for this. There was something else, I think, that added onto that. Oh, my couch is going to be right here. You guys can see my bed, actually. My couch is going to be, like, right here. You guys can't see exactly. Oh, Coney. Hello, Coney. I'm so good at getting distracted. So I'll end up sleeping on the couch probably because it'll be like in the background. And also my camera right now is at like a diagonal, which makes the background kind of scruffy and not as nice looking. My new setup is going to be a straight desk, and my camera will be pointing straight forward now, so it'll actually like look decent, hopefully. And I'm also getting new lights and stuff, so hopefully the background will actually be like professional looking, but also just like a lot nicer to look at than this. That's the hope, at least. So I'm very excited for that. Post Christmas is going to be absolutely insane. And then there's also going to be a bunch of other stuff which I'm not going to announce yet that will happen on Christmas. You guys can come in and see that when that happens. And then so did I have something else first? I feel like I'm missing something. Anyways, we are going to be making a Hype Fellas. When I say we, I mean me. I'm going to be making a Hype Fellas Discord server. And all of our old servers. So let's see. I think there's my server, Fearful's Discord server. There is Ethan has a server that's like literally nothing in it. And then there's Eli's server, which has a lot of stuff going on in his. His is probably the busiest. And then I think Ostino closed his server, but he also had a server at some point. We're going to be merging them all. And by merging, I mean I'm going to be making a big server that contains all of the stuff that we all need in it. So that we can kind of put all of our communities together in one place. I don't know when I'm going to do that, but hopefully that will be relatively soon. But when that gets made, I will send out notifications and stuff, and then our old servers will become not like fully extinct, but it'll be a lot less, yeah, mega server. It'll be I don't know, we'll still have our personal servers, but they'll be like mostly for just hanging out. Like nothing really important will go on in there. And then in the super server that we all have together, Hype Fellas official Discord server, we'll have everything. So I'm planning on everyone having their own chat room. So there'll be a Fierceful chat room, a Volatin chat room, a McBoston Third chat room, and an Austino or Sulker's chat room. There will be an announcement section for each of us. There will be a live notification for each of us. So that will be good because you guys will be able to mute the servers you don't care about. So if you guys don't want notifications for Eli's stream, you can mute his live notification channel, or you can mute mine, for example, if you didn't want to see notifications for mine, or you can mute all of them if you don't want the notifications to come through your Discord. Or you could just mute the Discord server in general if you don't want notifications. But I think it's going to be very good because I think it will help us all grow together. And I think if we're all able to have our communities in one place, and every time we get a new viewer or part of the community that wants to stay with us, then they can join the super server and they'll be able to spread out from there. And you guys know what I'm talking about, basically. It'll just help us all grow together, is what I'm trying to say, basically. So that is very exciting. I am very excited to work on that, which I'm not sure when I'll get that done, but it probably won't be like too soon. Yeah. Okay, so that's all the news, except for we'll do a little bit more on what we're doing soon. So obviously Conquest starts on the 12th. Here's what's on season 3 starts on the 10th. So there will be the 10th and the 11th we will be doing without Conquest. Those 2 days will be, I'm actually not sure. I don't know if I'm going to be doing Silksong. There's a lot of Silksong stuff that I need to finish up. But I don't know. I think it would be best for me to take a little bit of a break from that so that I don't get completely burnt out of it, because I'm kind of starting to get there, but not fully. So I would just rather take a little bit of a break from Silksong. So we might go back to Cuphead and finish that up because it's been a while, or might go back to Dredge and do something there, or we might do something else entirely. I'm not sure yet. We'll see what happens tomorrow and the next day, or not tomorrow and the next day. The 10th and the 11th. I also do have to take a final tomorrow online, and I have to go in person for a final project presentation on the 11th, which is on Thursday. So that'll be annoying. We'll see how that affects things. It probably won't realistically that much. All the best for you then school-wise. I appreciate it. Very much so appreciate it. I should be fine though. I think realistically I'm doing very good in the classes, and I think the finals are not going to change that at all, but we'll see. But I do appreciate that. Thank you very much. And then so Conquest will start on the 12th. I'm assuming the first few days will be very heavily Conquest SMP focused, so a lot of Minecraft stuff. And then there will continue to be a lot of Conquest stuff until it ends, hopefully, as long as the server goes well and does better than it did last year. And then if it starts to die down, and even if it doesn't, after like the hype dies down a little bit, because I'm assuming obviously we won't be as excited for it in the middle of it as we are at the beginning, we'll be doing some other stuff in the middle as well. So we might do some Silksong streams, or just whatever else. And then like later into the streams on those days, we'll move into Conquest, or maybe we'll have 2 separate streams on those days, or I'm not sure exactly how it's going to work, but lots of Conquest, but there will still be other stuff merged in there as well, is what I'm trying to say. And then, guys, Hightail, You guys know what that is. Hopefully you guys do. Hightail drops on January the 13th, the day after Conquest ends. So it's perfect timing. There's going to be probably a lot of Hightail stuff happening right after that. Also, school will be starting back on the 15th for me. So, but my school schedule will be as lenient as it was this year. So still expect streams throughout the week and weekends as well. Hopefully. I think. Hopefully. And then obviously we still have all of our other stuff going on in the background, like all these Portal games that I still need to get to. All of these indie games that I need to start, and some of them I need to finish. There's a lot of Silksong stuff that I still want to do. Grounded 2 we need to go back to. Pacific Drive we need to go back to. Half-Life 2 we need to start and finish. We have a lot of stuff, okay? There's a full list actually. Let me actually show you guys the list. Here's all the stuff I want to do. I'm not going to read everything, but you guys can just look through it. There's a lot of like marathons and stuff that I want to do in here. Yeah. There's a lot of stuff. So all stuff that we were going to be trying to get to eventually. But I think that's it for today. I just did an 1.5-hour stream of just yapping, which is actually very surprising. It doesn't feel like it's been that long. But anyways, that is going to be it for today. Thank you guys for being here and showing up. Season 3 starting on what would that be? Wednesday? Yes, Wednesday the 10th. That's when we are going to lock back in. Okay, it's been about a week since I've been here, but I've been working on stuff in the background, and I'm really excited for this season. I think it's going to go great. And also, I've been able to kind of have a little refresher for the start of the season, and I am very, very excited. I'll be there. I appreciate it. I appreciate all of you guys' support. You guys literally just showing up. I appreciate it more than you guys will ever probably realize. But I love every single one of my chatters. Even if you're one of the ones that hates on me and annoys me. Okay. But that's it for today. Thank you guys for being here. I hope you guys have an absolutely fantastic rest of your day. Hope you guys have an absolutely fantastic Tuesday. And I will see you guys on Wednesday for the start of Season 3. That's it.